Hello, listening people.
Ho, ho, ho!
Merry Christmas. We're Spittin' Polish.
Yeah.
We're always spitting because we are both Polish.
And we're both Polish because we're always spitting?
Exactly. Where Spittin' Polish presents Unappreciated Masterpieces. I'm Ryan Sliwinski.
I'm Bartek K.
You don't want to say your full last name again?
How do you pronounce it again?
I don't know. I do not speak Polish.
Kasprzyszak.
There we are. See, there we go. So, we're Spittin' Polish, and we are doing Unappreciated Masterpieces, in which we find those classic gems, those forgotten masterpieces, those brilliant pieces of cinema or film that have been in our public eye, yet forgotten over the years. And what film are we doing today, Bartek?
Well, since it is Christmas, we are doing Będę w domu na Boże Narodzenie.
Which I do not. I don't speak Polish, Bartek, so I don't know what
Oh, is that what you've been saying all this time?
I don't know what
I thought you said repeat that in Polish again, please.
I don't know.
Right. The movie in English is I'll Be Home for Christmas.
Yes, I'll Be Home for Christmas. The classic 1998 film. Yes, 1998. A simpler time for us too, wasn't it, Bartek? What were you doing in 1998?
I was finishing off kindergarten and I was still trying to learn English and I think I pooped my pants.
Oh, wait. What's kindergarten to you? Is it like...
It's preschool.
In New South Wales, preschool is preschool and kindergarten is like the first year of primary school. So, so it goes kindergarten, year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4, year 5, year 6.
In Victoria, we just have prep.
Yeah, so that's why I was like, whoa, I'm pretty sure we're the same age, Bartek. I don't think you were finishing kindergarten then, but yes, preschool. Okay, so we've learned a bit about that. I would have been finishing preschool also, and I reckon I was still a big fan of The Lion King too. I was a real big fan of that as a kid, yet I don't remember anything about it today.
There was like a girl lion cub.
Yeah, there was a girl in the first one.
No, I mean, sorry, it was Simba had a daughter?
Simba had a daughter, probably.
And some woman that worked for Scar had a son?
And talking about Simba,
I didn't think of that.
The lead star in I'll Be Home for Christmas, 1998, the classic Christmas film.
Matthew Broderick?
Is Matthew Broderick. Yeah, Matthew Broderick, of course, known for being Simba. This is our first film with Matthew Broderick. I feel like 1990s was a good era for Matthew Broderick. I mean, he did Ferris Bueller, he did Godzilla, he did Lion King, he did Home Improvement, he did this. I mean, this guy was everywhere. I mean, good for him.
Was Inspector Gadget 90s?
I think that was 2000s, man.
Damn,
Matthew, you dropped the ball in the 2000s. But trust me, Inspector Gadget may be on this show one day. Maybe Inspector Gadget 2. Did you know there was a second one?
I've never seen anything Inspector Gadget related. So
well, he's not a very good inspector. The whole joke is he's not very good at all. But we're rambling on. We're doing I'll Be Home for Christmas. Yes, the classic Christmas tale. Now this one is a sentimental one to me, because I have always seen this one during Christmas times. Bartek, was this, again, one of the first times you've seen an unappreciated masterpiece before having to do the show?
Yes. Yesterday I saw Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Unleashed. No,
Awakens.
That's the game. Force Awakens. I actually never remember the subtitle. And then as soon as I came home, I said, well, this day can't get any more alright. Then I immediately put on this movie and said, well, now this day is at its peak.
And now it's at its peak. Yes, this is the one in which you, like, if you were in Australia. Now, Bartek, you may have missed this, but it was always one of these movies that was on Channel 7 during midday or 3 o'clock during the weekdays, or if you're lucky, the afternoon. And you just catch this movie on TV. Like, I never, knew, like, I always thought, oh, is this just a TV Disney movie? But it's actually a proper Disney movie. And also, is this the first Disney movie we've done? You saw Star Wars 7, which is also a Disney movie, so that's a bit weird. But and Lion King's a Disney movie, of course, it's all connected. But I think this is the first Disney film we've done on the show, and that is quite unusual because Disney's films are often not unappreciated, they're always appreciated or overappreciated, if you think the same about Little Mermaid like me.
You mentioned just then that this movie played on Australian TV just around Christmas.
Yeah.
That's funny because in Poland, here, you're saying that they played this unappreciated masterpiece, whereas in Poland they played, and this is the Polish name for that movie, Kevin Sam w domu, which means Home Alone.
They played Home Alone? I mean...
No, dude, they're obsessed with the movie. They play it every Christmas.
Well, let's get obsessed with I'll Be Home for Christmas, which we shall be starting in 3, 2, 1, play. Yes, and here's the magic Disney symbol. Yes, so this is also our first show where we have no guest. It's just Bartek and myself, your two wonderful hosts. And what a better time of year to do it on our own. The festive season, one to be merry, one to be ho-ho-hoing. Bartek, how do you celebrate Christmas? Is there a special Polish celebrating way of Christmas, or do you just schlub around?
In Polish tradition, Christmas Eve, that's the 24th of December, you have a dinner called Wigilia.
Of course. I don't know what that means, but yes.
It's just the word for it. And you get together with family, and the only rule is you can't eat meat except fish. So, I hate all seafood, including fish, so I always have something vegetarian.
Oh, cool.
So, yeah, every Christmas Eve I'm a vegetarian, not by choice.
Not by choice.
Yeah.
Not by choice.
It's not even a religious thing.
It's just a cultural thing?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I eat meat. That's not fish. I also don't like fish. I don't mind seafood. I just don't like fish, so don't get me started. Jessica Biel is in this movie, and one of my favorite actors of all time, and I'm not joking here. One of my favorite actors of all time is in this as well. The legendary actor Gary Cole. Do you know Gary Cole? He was the dad. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you may know him as Harvey Birdman, attorney at law. And he's just one of those great actors that's in everything. Like, he was in Office Space. That's probably what one of his best known performances in is Office Space, where he plays like his boss. And I just love him. Every time he's in a movie, he's always amazing. Like, in this movie, he's like one of the top performers because he has to really emulate the idea of being a distressed father, but also a negligent one. Because, I mean, look, he's trying to entice his son home with a bribe, and that's just not very good.
He's not as good as this ball, but he's pretty good.
This ball? Yeah, this ball is pretty good.
This ball, it stays here for almost the first 2.5 minutes of the film, and it just nails its performance.
I think it's funny. Like, look at that, it went flat. Ooh, never seen that before.
I like when its tap became a trumpet before.
Yes. Yeah, that was an emotional time. So, I know, I don't have any special Christmas things. I just, open presents, eat gigantic amount of food, and fall asleep. And probably use the presents given to me. If it's a game or movie, most likely a movie, I'll watch it that day, probably.
And here we have high school, university.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if he was supposed to be in high school, and then it's obviously college, like it's obviously university. And I lost it. I was like, oh, okay. So here's Matthew Broderick himself, the wonderful performer. Here he is emulating such a wonderful performance. He's supposed to be playing a young college school kid, yet he must be at least 38 by this point. I imagine it's he's still playing a Ferris Bueller character in this. I mean, some might say he's stereotyped in his performances, but look, I think he's a diverse actor. Have you seen Godzilla?
I have not.
That's a lot of fish. That's quite a lot of fish.
So the interesting thing is the vent is up there, but there's a shelf up there. So how did you get the...
Yeah, exactly.
But that's not important.
What's important is this kid is 14 years old, probably.
He looks like Frankie Muniz, his younger brother or something.
I think he looks like a goblin-like creature. Maybe when I saw this movie, I didn't realize it was a fantasy movie. Because I saw him and I'm like, oh, it's a goblin. What's this?
I believe those are to clear your nasal passages so you don't snore.
Oh, really? No, they're like for blackhead removal, like paw.
They look the exact same.
Okay, they're paw things, and why are they wearing them out in public? That's like it's a fashion statement. I thought this woman was going to come back. Like, I thought she was a really well-defined character. Like, look at her. I think she's really nailing this performance. Like, look, I'm saying Oscar-winning performance, perhaps.
Yeah.
I mean, look, she bites into it without even properly opening the wrapper. I mean...
Well, maybe Matthew was just being, careful, and he opened it for her.
And here we have the first few examples of how Matthew Broderick is a gangster.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize this was a gangster movie. Like, I've seen this multiple times before, but I always forget the element that he's, like, actually a crime boss, pretty much, of his college. Like, he's the one forging stuff, and he's the one who's pretty much, like, got all the money because of, illegal means. So, look, is this Goodfellas, but with Matthew Broderick?
Yeah, it's like you take Zach Morris from Saved by the Bell, but, like, not Saved by the Bell the college years, like the earliest version, like Good Morning Miss Bliss. He still looks 14 here, but he's in university.
I love how every time in a podcast you have to mention how much you loved Saved by the Bell.
Dude, have you heard? I like Saved by the Bell.
Yeah, I've heard you mention how much you love it. Look at Matthew go. Who would have guessed that after Home Improvement and Lion King, he would have moved on to one of what? What's funny? What's good, Bartek? Who would have guessed that he would have moved on to one of the best unappreciated masterpieces of the holiday season I've ever witnessed? It was quite hard figuring out what should be our Christmas one this year. There were so many options because I love how Christmas is its own genre of film.
Yeah.
Like, what? And like how holiday films are their own genre of film, like they live in their own little world, and it's very hard because there's so many ones that are unappreciated or like deserve more credit. It was like really hard because Bartek, you were asking like, are we going to do like Jingle All the Way or something or other, or
I couldn't remember what movie you said we were going to do.
And I think about it like maybe Jingle All the Way will appear a few Christmases down the track if we keep doing this for a long period of time. I don't know, but. The problem with Jingle All the Way is that is such unappreciated. Like, it borders on the line of unappreciated and appreciated. It is that weird one. It's like, if you tossed a coin, it would be a toss a coin decision with that one, because that one, but this one is clearly unappreciated. Like, if I said to anyone on the street, oh, have you seen I'll Be Home for Christmas with Matthew Broderick? They'll probably say, no, but I've heard Matthew Broderick's a really good actor, and he's really diverse. Is it an example of how diverse he is? Yeah, it really is, actually. Like, sure, he's playing a Ferris Bueller type character, but it's really diverse performance.
Zach Morris type character.
A Zach Morris Ferris Bueller character. Look, he's pretty much like a young Marty Wolf from Big Fat Lie, of course. Maybe this is a prequel.
Maybe this is the prequel where he learns the true meaning of Christmas, but then forgets it.
Oh, here he is.
Oh, you're...
Saving grace of film. The Ed Man. Eddie Man. The Edster. The Edmeister. He used a lot of different versions of his own name in this film. He is the new bully of the film. Like, at first, Matthew Broderick was the bully because he's, like, bullying everyone. But now, like, this guy's dumb and a bully. Like, this follows in the tradition of, in these unappreciated masterpieces, especially ones with young people or high schoolers, there's always a bully character, which is, really good to have. And I feel like, I'm going to make a bold statement. I think he's the best bully character we've had on the show.
Yeah.
So far. Eddie, the Edster, Murph Man. All of them were like man names. Remember that period of time where everyone had man after the name in the late 90s?
Bartman.
Bartek Man, Ryman.
Bartłomiej Kasprzyszak Man.
The Brant Man. No one says bye-bye to the Brant Man. I love, Matthew Broderick is just really selling his, like, I feel like, he's supposed to be playing, let's say, an 18-year-old, but he has the wisdom of a 38-year-old man, which is a good thing, because Matthew Broderick probably is 38 years old.
And the appearance of a, 14-year-old?
Yeah, and the appearance of a 14-year-old. Like, I couldn't get over the fact that this film exists. Like, Disney made this, and I feel like Disney, I guess, we have this image of Disney, we put it up on a pedestal, we put Disney up, and especially with the animation, but when it comes to live action Disney, it's like they're two different film companies. Like, this one, unfortunately for Disney, I feel a lot of the time, let's say 98% of the time, their live action movies are terrible. or not very good. Then 1% of the time they're amazing, and then the other % of the time they're this, which is unappreciated.
Yeah, and people hate it just because it's the cool thing to do.
Yeah. Oh, here he is, Gary Cole as the father. I love Gary Cole. I'm just a big Gary Cole fan. I'm very glad that he was in this movie. Like, literally, Bartek, when I saw his name in the credits when I watched it yesterday, I fist pumped and I was like, yes, Gary Cole's in it. Like, you know the movie's going to be a credible film when Gary Cole is in it. Like, you know how you see a certain actor say, like,
Gary Coleman,
who's no longer with us, play an elf? You know it's going to be a good performance. I love Tracy, or Stacy or Tracy, the sister in this film. I wrote many times that she was just the best, because if you watch her performance throughout the whole entire film, like, skip everyone else. I know it's hard not to look at Gary Cole. I'm having a hard time right now because he's the only one on the screen that's worth looking at. But if you look at the sister during all of this, like in her in the background and all that, she's just amazing. I want to know if she went on to do anything. Like, Oscar-winning performance, this, I think, from her. Like, she really sells being the younger sister. Bartek, do you have any younger siblings?
I have a younger brother and a half-sister in Poland, but, same father, so why say the half part? We can just say sister.
So is she like the sister in this movie, but speaks Polish?
Yeah. She's not mean.
What do you mean? This girl's not mean. She's just...
But this girl has attitude.
Attitude is worth it. Oh, here it is, the Porsche. Did they mention it was a Porsche? I'm not sure if they mentioned it was a Porsche yet. Have they mentioned it was a Porsche? I think it's a Porsche. It's a red Porsche. I'm pretty sure it's a Porsche. Have they mentioned that it's a Porsche yet? Because I'm not 100% if they mentioned it was a Porsche.
From memory, I think he mentioned it was a Porsche only when he brought up the deal. The deal.
Yes. Now, this is the amazing thing about Christmas movies. I love how the only good Christmas movies, like this one, most of them have this weird thing, Bartek, I don't know if you've noticed this, where capitalism and corporate greed is just number one factor of these films. Like, the driving force of this film is he's going home for Christmas, not for love, not for, anything else. He's going there because he's been bribed with the promise of the Porsche. I mean, spoiler alert, he learns the lesson in the end. But, he starts out with he starts out with poor intentions. Like, he starts out with greed. And I feel like that's very frequent in Christmas movies, oddly enough, where Christmas is supposed to be the time of year in which you're supposed to get gifts and be festive and all that. But obviously it's supposed to be when you're at your best. You're supposed to be charitable. You're supposed to be good. You're supposed to be honest. All of this stuff.
Yeah, I suppose Christmas values, the exploration of the values are what you'd look at when you label a movie as a Christmas movie.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's the point. But I just love how... But with most of the films, not this one, obviously, this one's a masterpiece. Yeah. But with other films, like Jingle All the Way, for instance, the corporate greed and capitalism is still the number one aspect of the film at the end. Like, they may have gone on journeys, but that's still the number one thing at the end of the movie. But this movie, obviously, it's different. It changes that. It's this is a game changer of a film.
Yeah. To his credit, to Broderick's credit, I reckon he'd play along with everything, like part of the deal is not so much that he comes here to get the goes to New York to get the Porsche, but he goes there to spend time with the family. I reckon he would spend the time with the family, enjoy it at least. He's there, may as well.
Yeah, but no, I don't necessarily think so, because he loathes the idea of seeing the stepmother.
Yeah, that's something that wasn't really explored. Like, towards the end, when the movie ended, I was like, oh yeah, that's the stepmom. Like, they mention that the mum died, and that's the reason why he hasn't come, but that isn't explored at all.
Well, it's a bit of a goof, isn't it? Because they say he hasn't been home for years, but his mum only died 10 months ago. Like, that's...
Oh.
Yeah,
Did they say 10 months?
Yeah, they said 10 months. And he's already married onwards with this new stepmother. Like, that's his big deal. Like, he doesn't like the stepmother because his dad moved on so quickly after the death of the mother, 10 months.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, he tells the story to a lady later.
Yeah, he tells it to a lady. That's his major reason for not going home, because I guess his mother's no longer there, so home is no longer there for him, and his father and sister has moved on so quickly. They've already adapted to a new family environment while he still misses the old days. It's a really poignant film.
Yeah, and like you just said there, you have to see that in the film. The film doesn't have to tell you that.
Yeah, sometimes films like to show and tell, but good with this one is it refuses to do either one. It doesn't want to show you anything or tell you anything, and that's a good thing because I just don't really want that in films.
Already there's merit for me seeing it a second time.
Oh yeah, I think I'd see it again. So Bartek, this is the linchpin moment in which Eddie here, who, must I say, I feel like his hairstyle is very different in each scene we see him in. Like, I feel like Eddie's hair is a bit longer in some scenes and a bit shorter, or I don't know, I feel like each time I see Eddie, his hairstyle is a little bit different, which is okay, but it's just like, oh, that's Eddie. Like, each time, like, when I saw him when, Matthew Broderick's friend ran out of the school with the test. I'm like, oh, that's Eddie. Oh, he looks a bit different. I don't know, maybe all white people look the same to me. You know, maybe. So, yep, it's already happened. Might I add, at the end of the day, that kid was never released from that locker.
I was going to mention that, yeah. When I was reading up about the film, some of the, trivia stuff that I was reading was pretty much assuming that kid died and that Eddie got away with murder.
Yeah. I thought at the end of the credits it was going to reveal that he's still in there and he's still like, help me, I thought it was funny, but okay.
No, they're going on, Christmas break. No one's going to be there for a while.
Yeah, he's dead. So this film deals with death. And look, this kid, Matthew Broderick, Ferris Bueller, Screech, whatever, I don't know. I only remember Screech from Saved by the Bell.
Screech, apparently? I said Zach Morris, man.
I don't remember who it is. Here it is. He could have died in this desert. They could have Eddie is an attempted murderer. And he's in the Santa suit. This is the iconic image, because this film obviously is about Matthew Broderick being left in the desert, glued inside of a Santa outfit, and left to walk out of the desert and go all the way back home, and hilarious hijinks ensues. Now, this vulture, I was very happy with the vulture. I thought it was going to be... Could you imagine it's a Disney film?
Yeah.
Like, it could have gone in a different way. Like, okay, here's what I think could have made this an appreciated masterpiece. Now, imagine, Disney. What happens if this whole film was him and this vulture, and the vulture can talk, right?
Well, apart from the talking, that's exactly what I thought it was going with.
Him and the vulture can talk. Like, him as well. Like, Matthew Broderick can talk, but he can only talk in vulture. And the vulture can only talk in French. And he has a French accent, and he's like, ooh la la. I am Jean Reno. And
Jean Reno.
I starred in Godzilla with Matthew Broderick, so we go way back.
Was Jean Reno in Godzilla?
Yes, he was. He was the French guy.
Oh, right. I think you mentioned that in Just Visiting.
I did. Look, see, I feel like Eddie looks different. But what I was saying was, I feel like it could have been like a hilarious little road trip adventure movie with Matthew Broderick and a vulture.
Yeah, you can be like...
But you could say that's his marriage with Sarah Jessica Parker anyway, and that's hilarious, and ha ha ha, she looks like a horse. Yeah, and a vulture. Ha ha.
So he would like go to someone and try to swindle them, and then the vulture would be like, oh, you're getting swindled.
Oh.
Like Jean Reno's doing a really stereotypical French accent. Like how I go to my Italian friends and do, the, hey, how you doing, Trapano?
Okay, we just missed a bit, okay? Eddie recited poetry at her. Keep that in mind, okay? Eddie just recited poetry at her, and she gives this whole entire speech of, if you say that kind of shit again, I'm gonna slug you. If you're gonna be racist, homophobic, I'm gonna slug you. And I might just slug you from time to time because I hate you, basically. And all of this stuff, she wants to slug him. Later on, there's a plot point. You remember this, don't you?
Yeah, when you just mentioned now that he said poetry, I'm like, wait, what?
Later on, she recites poetry that Matthew Broderick recites to her every now and then, like E. Cummings, or isn't it? Or as it's later called Easy Cummings, which was a great sexual joke.
He's a good rapper.
Yeah. And she makes this whole thing about, like, I love guys, he gives it chills when he recites poetry and that stuff. And the weird thing is, the poetry that Eddie just recited wasn't even crap poetry. It was actually quite good. I was actually a bit shocked. Like, when I was watching it, I did write down, what, Eddie's a poet now? And then later on, they make a big deal about, like, he doesn't understand poetry, and the only poems he knows are, like, Man from Nantucket, and blah, 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 and, like, he's an idiot, and he doesn't like poetry, but And she's like, don't recite poetry to me. But he recited it earlier, so it's a complete contradiction. And that's what makes this film multi-layered. I mean, look, even the bird got a love interest. And I imagine it's a happy ending for them. Because vultures need happy endings. Because in films, they're vilified too much.
Speaking of, stereotyped stuff, that tumbleweed there, usually they're just in the background, but he's getting right into it.
Yeah, and he makes it a whole thing about how he's getting attacked by a tumbleweed.
Yeah.
Like, and also it's a part of his secret Nazi-coded message kind of thing in which he's like, Desert Santa, buzzard tumbleweed. Like, what? I like this guy. Now, this is the amazing part of this film, the secondary characters.
Yes, I agree.
All of the secondary characters, his family, Eddie, everyone he meets along the way are all amazing. Like, I wish I could write this stuff. That's the thing I can't get my head wrapped around. I'm starting to, as we do more of these unappreciated masterpieces, I'm starting to understand. But the major problem I have is, as someone, with a creative instinct, I look at these films and I just don't know how people could do them. Like, I wouldn't have come up with some of these characters. I wouldn't have come up with this plot line. And I guess that's what makes them paid geniuses, not me right now, but hopefully watching enough of these films, I can get influenced and understand and be able to create pieces like these films, because that's a major thing I can't get my head around, Bartek. I can't get around, someone wrote this. Like, somebody came up with, right now, that a bunch of old women who are Tom Jones fans are going to pick him up for a ride. I wouldn't have thought of that.
So, Ryan, do you reckon at the end of, this road of understanding underappreciated
I'll make my own unappreciated masterpiece.
And unappreciated masterpiece, do you reckon you'll make the next Nolan?
Oh.
As in the character Nolan from this film?
I don't know. I was thinking, here's my idea. Okay? Obviously, we'll make it a Christmas movie. Yeah. It's called Christmas with the Vultures. And it is exactly like this movie in which, it's about the guy on the trip with the vultures. But meanwhile, a young Paul Giamatti plays like an Eddie-like character, and he learns the true meaning of Christmas, which is corporate greed and lying. And I feel like, you could have Jean Reno as the dad, as the voice of the vulture, but also play the dad, but he plays it with an American accent. So it's like, how in some of these films, in some films in general, you have an actor play multiple roles for no apparent reason, but nobody else is playing multiple roles, like Eddie Murphy in most of his films.
And Kermit the Frog in that recent Muppets movie.
Yeah, what a bastard. Oh dear. This woman here, I like how she points at her car and she's like, we're going to see, we're Tom Tom girls, but there's no one else in the car when she points to it.
I like how it seemed like she was going to help him anyway, but then he threw in a lie in there just cause.
Yeah, what a dick. Well, I mean, what a good dick. What's new, pussycat? Are you a big Tom Jones fan?
It's like the one song I know.
Excuse me, don't you know, What's New, Pussycat? And
it's not unusual.
It's not unusual.
Those are the two songs I know.
And Sex Bomb?
No, jeez.
Sex bomb, sex bomb, I'm a sex bomb.
Is that sung by Easy Cummings or something?
No. Oh, I like this woman. I thought she was going to give him a blowjob for a second. And it would have been really good because she has no teeth in. So it would have made it a lot better, I assume. Oh, this old woman here, the one who keeps using the phrase, what was it? She uses the phrase, yammied? What was it? He yammied in the car or something.
Oh, for throwing up.
Oh, well, yeah, she keeps using this phrase Santa just yammied in your handbag. She's the nun from Blues Brothers. I was watching and who's this old bitch? I know her as an old bitch.
She's the nun from...
She's the nun.
I thought you were talking metaphorically, but no, the actress.
No, the actress is the nun from Blues Brothers. And again, is the nun from Blues Brothers the same character in this film? Down the line, she's a Tom Tom fan? Because she's equally mean. Mm. She's played by the same woman. She hates Santa. I mean, it all adds up.
She removed his beard for him.
She did freaking rip his beard off, and half of his face should have went with that. I mean, how's he not bleeding profusely?
Because it's him.
Well,
this was a famous line from Spin Posh brought to you by Bartek Kasprzyszak. It's him.
It's him. Trademarked.
Put that on the Facebook page.
No. Look, I swear Eddie looks different here. I don't know.
Hold on, let's have a look at his hair from the front, because the last time The style is the same, but I think he keeps changing his shirts.
Yeah, I think that's his problem. He keeps wearing different outfits, and I just can't handle that idea.
Also, is he dressed for the near desert? I mean, I guess it is Christmas, but...
Yeah, but
But they established that there's no snow here anyway.
Yeah, but I guess it's a little bit chilly. Like, he's got his sleeves rolled up, so, he's fine. I love this. Eddie. And he's just like, okay, I'm gonna sprint into oncoming traffic to kill Eddie, basically.
Oh, he doesn't want to kill him yet.
He does. As if you want to kill the guy who left you in the desert glued instead of a Santa suit for death, and then steals your girlfriend.
Well, he'd want to swindle him.
No, you want to kill him. I know Matthew Broderick. He's a killer. Did you know that?
Oh,
Matthew?
geez.
No, literally. I'm not lying. Matthew Broderick has killed people. Look it up. I mean that. He was in a car crash and he killed people, and it was his fault. And he didn't get any jail time or anything because he's Matthew Broderick.
Oh,
but
similar to that
after that car crash, Matthew Broderick was never the same again. Like, you remember Matthew Broderick when he was like somewhat like in this film, charismatic, funny, energetic, but now you look at him and he's like a shallow husk of a man, and people might say that's because he's married to Sarah Jessica Parker. No, it's because if you look in his eyes, you can see the haunted look of a killer, and I'm not joking. Look it up. Matthew Broderick has killed people, and that's not a wide-known fact. Matthew Broderick's a murderer. I like how Matthew Broderick here, oddly enough, had enough time to write snarky signs instead of writing like real ones to help him out. And also he had a marker and several pieces of cardboard, yet has not moved from the spot.
And he just said that it's the worst day of his life.
Ever. And that reminds me of Thunderpants.
Mm-hmm.
The classic film about farts. If you want to listen to our thoughts on Thunderpants, check it out, because we've already done that one. We're not going to do it again. Maybe we could do it again, but only from the perspective of like Paul Giamatti's character.
Yeah, because there's one point in that movie where Paul Giamatti like seems unsure of if everything's going
or
alright.
Maybe we could do it again, but from the perspective of the farts.
We could like rate the farts as we go.
Yeah,
on.
we could rate them. Oh, this is emotional. I was actually, in tears with this scene. Like, tears rolled down my face. I'm like, oh, he's trying to be upbeat. He asks real questions in this scene, such as, like, between us Santas, don't you get a suit? Yeah, he must. And does any guy look good in red? That's a real good question, because I never really thought that red was a colour that guys don't look good in. Bartek?
Well, we did a show last year called Soviet Western where I wore a lot of red, so I reckon I'm pretty hot.
So, according to Matthew Broderick here, who is a reliable source of information, remember, he's killed people, so he understands life, because he's taken it away from people.
Has he ever worn red in films?
I think he has. He's wearing red right now.
Oh.
And he just
blown.
said, oh my god, is this the second Matthew Broderick Christmas film? Wait, let's think. Matthew Broderick's in this, and Deck the Halls with Danny DeVito.
Yeah?
Yeah, we could do that next year. Yeah, Deck the Halls with Matthew Broderick. And I like how she does look like a bag of shit in the morning. Like, look at her.
I forgot about this.
She looks fucking atrocious in comparison to what she actually looks like. And
She
looks
looks like, when people, what do you call it, paparazzis take a picture of a celebrity who's like just not ready for a photo.
She is. Oh, this was haunting. Like this guy. This is what I get. Now think, if this is the real world, this guy comes here and he's like, "Hey, Santa's been kicked out of his sled. Oh my lord, there's some guy in there. Well, I better pick up Santa Claus and poke the guy with Santa to freak him out momentarily, so that way I could tell him to get out." Oh, here he is.
There we go.
Here he
Nolan.
is. But it's like, I feel like this would be you in the film.
I wish I could play a role like this.
I think you would be Nolan, and I think I would be...
The Vulture. No, sorry, that's Jean Reno.
That's Jean Reno already. I feel like I could play The Road.
Well, you are big.
I am big. I'm very large, ladies and gentlemen. In case you haven't seen what I look like, which is imaginable, but let's be honest, you probably have. I'm quite large, like The Road. And I am black with white stripes.
That's what a zebra is, actually, fun fact.
Is it?
Yeah, like, I always thought it was white with black stripes because there's more white, but apparently scientists have, put one chemical into another and decided that it's black with white stripes.
Science. Another time to ruin fun questions of life. Like, I thought, science ruined the idea that the light bulb turns off in the fridge for me. I just thought it stayed on the whole time, but thanks to science, ruined everything. Look, he killed Santa Claus, which would make this a different movie.
Also, when suddenly the rail got longer.
Yeah, the rail was no longer there, and then it was there. Because this film defies reality. Like, the film is very much set in reality. It very much is set in reality.
Definitely.
But then it's not set in reality. Like, it is a film that is like, hey, let's not be set in reality. Like, I like how he's like, oh, thank God. Like, oh, yeah, like, his foot didn't come out.
Yeah, because if he did fall into the shoe, there wouldn't be snow covering him.
Exactly.
He would have fallen out first, or only.
His foot would have fallen out.
There wouldn't be snow under him, so he'd be the first thing to fall out. There's a nice little tree.
No, this is the best part of the film. Like, this actually had me in stitches. I've never been happier to answer that question. Yes, you are alive. It's like, wait, you've been asked that before? Yeah, like maybe 12 times. Like, what's this guy up to? And then you find out he's a criminal.
Superhero.
And you find out he's a criminal, so maybe he's had to leave fallen criminals behind with the blood on his hand. Look, wouldn't it be weird if we had a film about Nolan and his crime history? Like, like how we see those 12 instances, and he's just like...
I reckon he could get his own GTA game, because that way you get his story and then some side quests.
Well, Grand Theft Nolan.
GTN games.
GTN.
Oh, when you say GTN, it sounds all like political or economical.
What's GTN?
I don't know, but it just sounds like GPN.
Now you're changing it. GTA, Grand Theft Nolan.
That's GTN, Grand Theft Nolan.
No, Grand Theft Auto, Nolan City.
I was about to say that, yay. Vice Nolan.
Grand Theft Auto 5, Nolan.
That's the DLC.
Yep, or like Grand Theft Auto, and then like you have the Roman numeral for 5 in the N for Nolan.
VN.
No, like it's a part of the N because
Yeah.
your capital N goes like that.
Oh,
right?
I see what you're saying.
And
yeah.
like it is a 5, like a Roman numeral for 5 is like Nolan.
And then just crayon to make it an.
And you could do it with each one. Like you have the Roman for 1, and that's like the L in Nolan, and then for 2 you don't do it because it doesn't work.
Did you know that the people that make GTA are Scottish?
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Did
Rockstar's a Scottish company.
Did you know Matthew Broderick killed people in Ireland? I'm pretty sure it was Ireland.
Really?
Yeah,
Jeez.
check it out. He's killed Irish people. I'm pretty sure. It's kind of weird because I could feel like Matthew Broderick could play a leprechaun. Could you imagine if this film was Irish? Like, if it was set on St. Patrick's Day, and it's like a film about
St. Patrick's Day values?
Yes, St. Patrick's Day values. Like, it's a Catholic film, and he gets left in the desert glued inside of a leprechaun outfit. You could really make this film again and again, but for different holidays. Like, what about Hanukkah? You could have him glued inside of a dreidel or something.
A dreidel, that's a good costume. I like how Nolan interprets this.
Yeah, like he's like, I will kill them. Here's the thing: did we even find out in the end if that was them?
What's his face? Matthew Broderick noticed.
No,
Do you not take his word?
No, he noticed it was the same kind of car, but we didn't actually find out if it was them. We just have to take the word for it.
Yeah. I did. I just assumed he was right.
I assume he's right too, but what happens if he's wrong?
Then Nolan will go, oh, wrong car.
And too bad they're dead, and then you'll get asked a 13th time if they're still alive. And he'll be very glad not to answer it this time around because he did murder people.
So, those of you who have been watching every movie that we watch and listen to the episodes, you will recognize that this actor who's playing the policeman coming up is a returning star.
Yes, when he comes on the screen, Bartek, tell everyone who he is and what he's from because he is such an amazing performer. I mean, I'll give you some ideas of what other things he's been in. He's been in the Princess Diary movies, which is also Disney. Connection? I think so. Maybe he's the same character. I don't know. but he is an emotional performer, and we've already seen his Shatner acting once, and we get to see it again in this great... Oh my god. Oh my Jesus Christ.
There he is.
I nearly lost my lunch. Yep.
So do you all recognize him yet?
Yes. Does everyone recognize this amazing performer playing the policeman? Because you better. He was from The Princess Diaries and...
Big Fat Liar!
Yes. And who was he in Big Fat Liar?
He played an authority figure there. He played the security guard at the Marty Wolf Studios.
Yes, he played the security guard in Big Fat Liar. Spoiler alert, who joins the kids in their efforts at the end for no apparent reason. And that was my major issue with the film when we did it in the first episode. If you go back and listen to that podcast, you'll hear me go on about how I did not understand why he joined them. But maybe this film is going to give me some answers.
I guess maybe his role in this film was just so amazing that they just had to like shove him into the film no matter what. Like, I know it's been 4 years and they just couldn't think of anything because, like, could you really give this guy justice with any role?
Yeah, exactly. Nolan's creepy smile is haunting me. Like, I feel like whatever we do, like, on the page, I might not even put a quote. I think I just put that picture of him smiling really creepily. When I was watching this last night with my girlfriend, she randomly was like, "So is he supposed to be disabled?" And I'm like, "Who?" And she's like, "Nolan." And I'm like, "What?" And she's like, "Is he supposed to be playing? Is he actually disabled? Is he supposed to be playing mentally disabled?" And I'm like, "What?" I just thought he was dumb and southern fried and like a hick. But I guess there's a new way to interpret this film, because if my girlfriend thought of that, that means someone else out there in the world has also asked that question. And it is an emotional question to ask of, is a character mentally retarded in a film? But it's like, what's your reply to that? Do you think?
Well,
could he be mentally disabled?
About as much as Tom Hanks, I guess.
Tom Hanks, the actor?
Well, I mean, he played in that one movie, Forrest Gump.
Forrest Gump.
Tom Hanks seemed to be, going through a rough time.
I think I've seen Forrest Gump. Yeah, I have, but I don't really watch appreciated films. I watch unappreciated films.
Well, I mean, the other one I was going to mention was Simple Jack from Tropic Thunder.
Simple Jack. What about that Robin Williams film in which he played a simple guy? I think it was just called Jack, and I think it was directed by Ron Howard.
I thought you were going to say that one where he played the doctor.
Dr. Seuss.
No, the one with the red noses. What was it called? Something? It was the guy's name.
Oh, no. I got it. It's, 1 Hour Photo. There it is. Check that one out. Robin Williams is such a nice guy in that movie. He plays a friendly doctor.
No, what was the name of that movie? I've forgotten now.
Patch Adams.
That's it, Patch Adams.
Patch Adams is the one in which he works in a photo developing shop, and he falls in love with this family that has been developing photos for their entire life, and he gets to the point of stalking them, and other moral ambiguity goes. So check out 1 Hour Photo if you want fun Robin Williams being a doctor, and check out Patch Adams if you want serious Robin Williams being creepy and sad.
So is that first movie you were talking about where he's the stalker, is it as good as The Cable Guy with Jim...
Better.
Carrey? I almost said Jim Jeffries for some reason.
Jim Carrey.
Yeah.
You're like Jim Carrey. Hey, Carrey. Do you think...
we missed the part where
they're crying. They've learnt the true meaning of Christmas. Yeah, that kid actor was terrible. He was fucking atrocious. I don't care if he speaks another language and that his English may not be as superb. He was still shit. I would have called cut and asked for a different kid. I don't care. This is the part of the film in which Patrick Smash or Bruce Cook could have been that kid. What was he up to then? I'll give you an answer. Not anything, because he didn't act before Thunderpants. So,
Yeah, Bruce Cook could have sat there and it was like,
he could
what
have
do you
sat
want
there
for Christmas?
and
Like,
spoke
I
with...
want to stop my ass.
Yeah. He would be like, help me ass. And he would just be like,
Help me ass.
And then Paul Giamatti smells it and he goes like, ah.
No.
And Paul Giamatti goes, I'll join NASA now, and then I'll run a movie studio.
No. Patrick Smash would fart, and then Paul Giamatti would come out of his ass like a genie.
A green one?
Yeah, why not? I mean...
And he would be like, Sim Salad.
Yeah, the Disney already has a blue genie, played by
I do
Robin Castellaneta.
No, I think it was played by... No, what's that actor? Genie from Aladdin. I think it was played by the emotional actor Ben Affleck.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to say the genie from I Dream of Jeannie.
Oh, Barbara Gordon. No, that's not her name. That's Barbara Gordon for Batman. Her name's like Barbara Eden, I think. And that's a real piece of information. Oh, yeah. I love how he was just like, help me. And he's just like, I will. And he gives him a hug. And like,
you owe me something.
Yeah. And he's like, didn't want to leave you hanging. So here he is. Now we get his storyline because... What's this film about? It's about a boy who gets glued inside a Santa suit and wants to go home, right? Mm-hmm. To get a Porsche. But it's more than that. It's about a guy who goes from place to place, putting things right that once went wrong, and hoping that the next leap will be the leap home. He's an angel. Like, I love how there is a point in the film in which he's dressed inside of the Santa suit and somebody's like, you're lucky you're dressed in that suit, or they like would have punched him or something, and he's like, yeah, I'm starting to feel lucky about it. And I'm like, yeah, it is true. Like, this guy gets...
Wasn't that right at the very end?
Yeah, near the end. He's like, that is true, because this kid gets Matthew Broderick, grown man, but playing a kid, gets away with a lot of shit in this movie because he's dressed like Santa Claus. Like, at the end of this movie, he should have been in jail. He stole many things. He fare evaded. I mean, he did so much shit that was bad.
Can't arrest Zach Morris.
Yeah, you can.
Oh, okay. My mistake.
No, this is a cruel trick to play on poor old Gary Cole. Think, Gary Cole's only got a few things left in his life after his wife died. He's got this new woman who's, okay. She's fine.
To be fair, we don't know anything about the... first woman.
Yeah, I imagine she was great. And then the sister here, the daughter, plays a cruel trick saying there's a scratch on the Porsche. This is one of the very few things he has left of his former life left over. And this horrible girl, who I think is an amazing performer, that little bit where she giggled, Oscar nomination performance, I'm telling you. But he doesn't deserve that. He's just a poor guy who wants to see his son on Christmas and drive around in the Porsche. And this girl is ruining his life by making cruel comments about him needing to get a life.
Yeah, you should have read the original script for that scene.
What was it?
She was like, get a life, Dad. And then he picks her up by, the collar and he's like, I had a life. The woman whose pussy you came out of. And now she's gone, and I'm trying to make do with all I have left.
And then he goes into the fireplace area, and he sits there and he drinks a brandy, and he just looks at the picture of the wife and like strokes the frame. He's like, I miss you, honey. And then you see the picture is Paul Giamatti in a wig.
Okay, so the woman was better than the current one.
Yeah, it's Paul Giamatti. No. And then you see, oh my god. Then you see, like, he strokes the picture, and he's like, it's Paul Giamatti in a wig, and then he's like, but and then you find out, like, that was only his third wife, and he's like, but I miss you most of all, second wife, and it's like Rupert Grint from Thunderbirds in a dress. And then he goes, but out of all the wives that have died, suddenly, to give me enough money to buy a Porsche, I miss you most of all, first wife. And of course, it's Kangaroo Jack himself in a dress. And he just goes, hip hop, hippity hop. And he just like, a single tear rolls down his face. This is an emotional scene.
Yeah.
I love this guy at the table. He's like, she must be a babe.
Yeah, I was wondering who that was. I was like, is that Brad Pitt or something? But
yeah, no, it's Brad Pitt. Did you know it was Brad Pitt?
Look, like, if I paused the movie here, you'd think it was Brad Pitt.
I thought it was more Josh Brolin. You know Josh Brolin?
I know the name.
Yeah, have you seen No Country for Old Men?
I saw a scene from it.
He's like the main guy in it, like the main cop. He's in lots. Just you'll know him when I show you a picture of him. You're like, oh, Josh Brolin, of course.
Oh, he's right there.
Yeah, and there's...
Is that Tony Abbott? Like really old Tony Abbott.
Yeah, no, what do you mean really old? You mean really young, because this is 1998.
Yeah, and
Tony
I assume he
Abbott
gets younger.
He ages backwards when he drinks the blood of innocent babies.
I thought he was like from that Brad Pitt movie where he gets younger, but then
Fight Club.
Benjamin Sleeve.
Benjamin Button Sleeve Fight Club.
I couldn't think of another
Killing
word for
them.
button, so I just said sleeve.
Killing them softly. You could have said it in Polish.
So here we have the... Oh wait, well the truck has to move.
Oh
first.
yeah. Convenient plot device. Yeah, here we have it. No, this is a Disney film. How do you feel, Bartek, that it's taken us... How many episodes are we in now? 5?
7?
6? 7?
I think this is the 7th.
7th episode. 7th Heaven is also what Eddie and Jessica Biel are from before doing this.
Yeah,
So that's
I
a weird
haven't...
connection. 7th film for it to be our first Disney. I feel like Disney is a reputable film distributor, but they also have some really good films that are unappreciated. Like, have you seen Old Dogs?
I don't think so.
With Robin Williams and John Travolta?
Oh, that's a nice cast.
And Seth Green?
That's a very nice
And Seth
cast.
Green gets high on drugs, and it's a kids' film. Oh, a kids' film. And it was originally made as an R-rated comedy, but then they edited it down to a kids' movie. And the dog, like, for instance, you know, like, Seth Green gets, like, in Tokyo, and they inject it full of drugs, and then they leave him with a gorilla, and the gorilla's, like, violently raping him or something. Like, we have to do that film on this show.
Yeah, let's do it.
Old Dogs. Oh, look, I love how it gets automatically sexual now. Like, he's like, yeah, the velvet skirt of the Christmas tree.
And everyone laughs because that's such a gentleman.
And they're like, oh my god, he's gonna do on the anus on the Christmas tree. Yuck.
Yucky.
Yucky. That's
Especially
where,
because your tree is so tiny.
yeah, and that's where poop comes from.
Yeah.
From the butt. Do you think that she's the most beautiful woman ever?
The cow?
No, the woman. Dressed as a cow.
I don't know, man. I could say yes, but then Tony Abbott would hit me because he's a woman right now.
I think she's very okay. Like, I think we watched a movie last podcast called Surf Ninjas.
He's the blowjob joke?
It is a blowjob joke. Yeah, do it. Don't see it. And we watched Surf Ninjas last week where the main actress was okay. She wasn't that pretty. But this woman's a lot prettier. And that's saying something about that other actress from that other film. But hey, yeah, that's a previous podcast. Let's focus on this magic movie. Look at him. He's happy. They're doing it. Like, they're kissing. They're making out. And they're hugging. They were making out first. I love how he has the tickets now. I was worried there's a scene coming up in which he sees Eddie and the chick kissing. You raise your one after. Eddie and the chick kissing on the TV. I was worried he was going to do something stupid and, like, go, no, fuck the bus, I'm going to go there. And it's like, how are you going to get there? But then he's actually on the bus, so it's okay. Yeah. A lesser film would have done that. What were you going to say?
I was alluding to this next scene, which he goes to the toilet.
Oh, with the kid?
Yeah, because it's very...
out of nowhere?
Yeah, and I figure, like, there was going to be a conflict there, because, you know, tickets, they're made of this thing called paper.
Peppers?
Yeah, peppers. And, like, peppers, when they touch water, they get all, you know, messed up.
Yep, that's
So
true.
I figured, like, someone was going to use water on the paper.
Yep, I think that was a general... I say, look, this guy is full of ideas. They may not be as philosophical or as, like, why are we alive? He's asking the little questions, okay? Here's what I don't get is, right? Sometimes you need people to ask the big questions, like the meaning of life. You need philosophers, but you need people to ask about the little questions, to question the little things. To question little things, because you can challenge the little things easier. You can change those little things. The bigger things are the harder ones. That's why they're worth endeavoring after. But how can we change the world if things cannot be changed if you don't ask about them in the first place? And this guy's asking questions. Mm-hmm. This guy is inquisitive. He is a three-dimensional character. The Ed Man talks in third person, and it's amazing because we need more third person talking from people like the Ed Man.
Yeah, look, the reality is he is just one person. So even if he does ask the questions, there's a chance that, nothing would come of it. But if nothing else, it's really charming that you can find these questions.
Yeah, exactly. And the fact is, even if he can't change them, he's still willing to investigate, or at least inquire about them. And that is noble. That's the one thing I think about Eddie. Even though he did despicable thing by nearly murdering this guy, Matthew Broderick, I think he's a noble guy.
Yeah. So yeah,
not all Eddies.
Yeah, screw you, Jessica Biel. Why is intelligent life missing? So you see in the mirror, this kid's like just staring at him, like, the AD's like, all right, step in there and just stare at him and listen to his lines. But like, it looks like he's getting ready to do something.
Like he's getting ready to take a massive what was that in Big Fat Liar? A massive dookie or something, right?
Dookie?
A dookie.
Yeah, I remember that scene.
He did a massive dookie in the toilet and he just wants to get out of there because the stink's so bad. But this Santa Claus is like, which one's better? Ho ho ho, or ho ho ho, or what was the last one? It was like ho ho ho, and it's just like that. If you want to scare people and make them run, the third one. I like that. That's the reason why he gets rid of the beard. And I feel like we've said goodbye to an important character then, the beard. We haven't talked about the beard. Now, Bartek, you have a beard. Did you connect to that character with a beard? Like the beard itself, the character of the beard.
I cried and I bled in the scene where the nun from Blues Brothers ripped off the beard. Because
did your beard quiver?
Because not only here's a rape joke coming up.
Yeah, and she even says it's a rape joke. She's even like, and look, Eddie's witty. Like he actually said something like he said something witty. He's like, I'm a witty guy. This is what I love. This film could have been lesser, right? I've seen people like we'll get to the reviews at the end, but there were a lot of negative reviews for this movie saying it was two-dimensional. But moments like that you really have to take in with this because Eddie could just be a two-dimensional lying douchebag asshole bully. But with moments like that and moments where he's inquisitive and nice moments, it just makes him a three-dimensional character and, yeah, on a level more despicable.
I like how Matthew Broderick Morris, Zach, had the time...
Screech.
How Screech had the time to, even though he was on his way home, just spin that thing around a few times.
Yeah. Did you know where the movie was set at the start, Bartek?
The college was in is in California somewhere?
Los Angeles, California, which is in Los Angeles, California. And that's where Surf Ninjas also took place. And both of these films are in the 90s. Maybe both of them are the same film.
Did you know that the black guy from Surf Ninjas, Tone Loc, actually has a song called Moto Surfing?
Oh, we need to listen to that.
Apparently it was in the soundtrack of the movie, but I don't know if it played anywhere.
This bus driver is going to have a nervous breakdown.
I like the lighting.
He reminds me of Tony Shalhoub. Like, the TV show Monk.
I've heard of it.
The detective who's got obsessive compulsive disorder and he's, like, afraid of germs and shit. He reminds me of Tony Shalhoub. Have you watched Men in Black?
Of course.
The guy that they keep shooting the head off?
The villain of the first movie, was it?
He's in both movies. Like, he's the guy who has all the information and he always shoots his head off and it grows back.
Yeah.
That guy. He looks like that guy, but not in Men in Black because he's really... What is this guy all about?
Is that Kevin James?
No. No, it's not. Here's what I loved. I hadn't... now, we've watched a series of these films, and I've said this multiple times on each podcast. It's hard not to interconnect them. It's hard not to make them all a part of the same universe, same things, because it's fun to do that with movies. But when I watched that scene where the guys got the meat, I had like a numb flashback of my opinions and feelings of Big Fat Liar, where there's a scene in which they're at summer school and there's a guy with a ferret in his pocket and there's this like weird shit for the sake of it, and this guy with his meat and barbecue sauce or Worcestershire sauce or whatever.
At least it's relevant.
It is relevant. Unlike Big Fat Liar's ferret guy, where it was relevant in the fact that we discover that the semicolon is a lie. Now, yeah, would you really believe that's someone's organs when it's clearly written in green and red crayon?
Well, I mean, you gotta check it, right? And that's what they do.
Where's the guy with the meat? Wouldn't he realize that's his meat? Oh, here he is. Oh, okay, he's going nuts. This guy's gonna have a breakdown. Best character in the film.
Yeah, just this military-looking guy just suddenly appears and gives him a huge speech.
And he's like, in films where at the end or at some point someone has, a main character has an inspirational speech?
Yeah.
This guy has been in the film for, 40 seconds, and he gives the inspiration.
As soon as he appeared, I'm like, oh wow.
As soon as he appeared, I got a little bit turned on because you know who he reminds me of? Duncan from Big Fat Liar, the one who I found out of all the podcasts, the only character I found sexy.
Which one was Duncan?
He was the president of the film company in Big Fat Liar.
Oh, right, yeah.
This guy is a sexy man, this soldier, and he knows how to dominate, and he knows how to just do it right. Like, he's a soldier. You could tell, like, this guy, I wouldn't be surprised if he actually was a soldier, and they just had him on. They're like, oh, yes, yeah, just wear your uniform, mate. Like, he did his auditions, and, like, he came to set in his uniform. Like, why not?
Like, they gave him the role after he was just introducing himself. Colonel James.
Yeah.
Whatever.
I mean, it's not unheard of. Oh, yeah, he's wearing, like, multiple clothes, yet it's summertime. No, it's winter. It's winter. Duh.
Oh, yeah.
No, that's okay, because they're
It's
now...
summer for us, and we know because we're sweating right now. Oh, I am.
I am.
Yay.
Sweating. You can hear it if I lean into the mic. No.
That's a sweating.
Sound like something else. I like this. Everyone's like, yeah, you saved that girl, Santa. Go, Santa, go. Go, Santa, go. Everybody sit down. This guy's going to break down. Like, he's going to kill people, that bus driver, one day.
He should be in, like, a tag team fight with the bus driver from Billy Madison.
Played by Chris Farley.
Is that the actor? Yeah.
Yeah. He was gonna play Shrek.
No talking on the bus. Oh, well.
Then he died. Chris Farley died. I love this whole scene in which he's like, that's it. I've been nice guy for too long. I'm going to be tough. This scene is reminiscent to a scene in the film called Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
I've seen that twice.
And where Steve Martin goes off at the chick from Ferris Bueller. And this is similar because it's Matthew Broderick. So I like how they're throwing him out and there's no resistance. Like, he's just like, okay. Like, that was like the weakest thrown out of a door I've ever seen. Like,
yeah, he landed on his feet.
Yeah, I don't mind that, but, like, they're carrying him and he's not even struggling. He's like, okay, this is fair. I did wrong. Like, and that's good because at this point he's learning, he's got character development because at the start he wouldn't have learnt that he was doing wrong. But now he knows and he just continues to do so because he loves this girl so much that he's willing to steal this, like, you know, this room list from this poor cleaning woman who have to go back to her office and start all over again. I mean, look, she's devastated.
Yeah, how would you feel if, like, your IMDb print-offs of the reviews suddenly went missing?
I would cry. And I'd have to make up some reviews. And no matter how easily I could do that, it would never be as good as some of the reviews that we've got here this afternoon. Oh my god, Bartek.
Now I'm getting pumped, and you can't pump me too early.
Yum, yum, yum. Bartek, you know, I've been very happy with you during this podcast because during every single podcast since Thunderpants, you've had some random moment of racism out of nowhere.
Really?
Yeah. You should really listen to them, and each time I'm like, oh, racism with Bartek. And I'm just wondering, with people who don't know you, they're going to be listening to them, and say they listen to all of them, they're going to have this character idea of you where you're like the guy who makes random racist comments.
And then when they meet me in real life, they realize how boring I am.
Look at him. He's naked there. And he's like, fighting foul. Fighting foul! Fighting foul!
Yeah, I thought it was gonna go like
he's gonna really punch him in the dick.
No, I thought it was gonna just be really well hung, and that would end the movie right there.
yeah. And they like the credits are the credit text going across his dick. And as it goes along, it's getting slightly harder. And by the end of the credits, it's like fully erect. And then, like, you know how like at the end they have like the last credit symbol? It's like he just like comes onto the screen and it just says the end. And you just have the words at the end after that. It says, thanks Eddie's dick. Starring Matthew Broderick.
Okay, hold on.
Jean Reno, Eddie's dick.
This right here, like, she was really perceptive of the fact that he mentioned like 6 o'clock, and he mentions that's when dinner's ready. That's true though.
That is true. That was not really. I eat mine at like 7.
Yeah, but like in this movie, 6 o'clock is when the dinner's gonna happen. Like, she just picked up like there's a hidden meaning to this. What are you talking about?
It's because he's a liar. Haven't you watched the movie?
Yeah, but he's telling but
no, he's not. He's not.
But
he's
like,
telling half a truth, which is worse than telling a full lie.
But yeah, well, you know, but he muddles me because you interrupted me.
It's because you didn't have much of a point to make.
No, but it really struck me because like he just said, I have to be home by 6 o'clock. And she's like, why? What's happening at 6?
Sex.
He could have obviously just said, dinner, what do you think? And that would have just settled that.
Yeah, I like how they're all like, they don't even yell at him for being bad. Like, the bus driver's like, right. And then I thought the army guy would, like, grab him or something. Or, like, people would yell at him, but nobody's yelling at him for lying about this organ thing.
Well, maybe only the bus driver thinks he was lying, and everyone else is like, shut up, bus driver.
No, but
you're never right.
They can all hear him.
Yeah, but they're like, hey, he's Santa. Santa doesn't lie.
Santa doesn't lie to all the little girls and boys.
And the Mexican boy.
Yeah, that Mexican boy was shit. I don't care what you say. If you want to fight me on this, write on the page. Right, Ryan, I want to fight you about this Mexican boy. Because he was rubbish. I don't care. This film has one negative moment, like one critique. It's that boy was shit. Now look at Eddie. He looks different there.
Because he's not naked.
I love how they're friends now. Like, they're like, yeah, I'm single. Let's be bros. Yeah, I got rolled. Like, they're just... I actually pissed myself laughing because they're, like, the best of bros now. Like nothing's gone wrong between them.
Yeah, and for another minute.
But it was worth it because here's the thing. This shows that these guys are the two sides of the same coin. You know what I mean? They're both the same dude. Except for one is sleazier than the other, and that's up to you to pick which one that is.
Yeah, and Eddie, he's got his own set of values which get challenged in this speech right here that Zach Morris Broderick is giving Screech. And even though he knows he's doing wrong, he even says that it'll be inhuman of him to do what he's doing right now. He's like, look, you've challenged my values, I can't have you here.
He's a noble guy. Like, he's got his values. He's going to stick to them. Can I just skip ahead and just say one of my favourite moments in this film is... Do you want to take a guess?
Is it the calling those two Christmas tree jingle balls?
Yes. Yes. Eddie pulls up to like this roadblock and there's two guys dressed as Christmas trees. It's like, yo, jingle balls, get out of the way. And then they turn around and they're policemen.
And they turn around really slowly.
And I love when we see it. I'm going to be laughing so hard. There's one cop, I think he was the black cop, I'm pretty sure. The one on our left, the left of the screen. He has the most intense look and intense piercing eyes I've ever seen in a film. Ever. He looks like he's gonna kill this guy. And I like how that is in the film. And then, look at this. I wouldn't have thought of putting this in a movie, the 5K Santa run. And I like how he wins.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert, he wins. I mean, here's the point I don't get is, there's all these Santas. Like, there's so many. And this kid is the only one who can really have a chance other than, the slim, athletic, stereotyped black guy.
Did you know that guy, that Santa was Kenyan?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did they mention that?
No. Well, there is one place where that proves he's Kenyan, and it's, indisputable. The credits. He's called Kenyan the Santa.
Ah.
So they didn't even just say, Black Santa or anything. They specifically said Kenya.
I think we have to keep an eye on this, because I think they do mention that he's something when he runs past. We may have trouble against Kenyan Santa or something.
Kenyan Santa.
I like how the mayor, spoiler alert, the guy who gives him money to let in is the mayor of the town. He's such a nice guy. Yeah. But here's the problem. I see him in the Santa suit, I go, okay. But then I see him outside the Santa suit, and I just go, I don't see how this guy could have got first place. Unless everyone chips in to, take a dive so he can give the money to the children in need. Because that's the thing. Spoiler alert, the mayor...
Polish colour balloons. Santa's Polish colours too.
Yeah, I'm surprised you didn't mention that straight off the bat.
Well, because the belt and the shoes
Sparky
are black.
Floaty won the state marathon 10 years ago. I love this. And then now he's got a lung removal. And he's like... and he's like, okay. This guy will give us a run for his money. So, Kenyan?
Yeah.
Yeah, and his name's Kenyan.
Yeah, Kenyan Santa.
Of Santas. I love how Kenyan Santa is wearing a completely different Santa outfit. He's got, the running suit Santa outfit. He's got the slim build, the glasses. He's not wearing a hat. He's wearing a helmet with, Did you see this? He's wearing a helmet with, a white fluff ball on the end of it. And I just find that the best part of his outfit is that his helmet is the hat.
Okay, I thought something looked weird about him. Like, I thought, oh yeah, he's really skinny, but I guess, yeah, he's also wearing a helmet.
Yeah, you have to see it.
Like, I saw it just there, yeah.
Yeah, he's wearing a helmet. I want a close-up of it. Yeah. Where are you, Kenyon? There he is! And he's wearing a helmet, and on the back of it...
So he can't win!
No, he can. It still counts as a hat.
But he has to wear the one that they give him.
No, they...
Oh, no, they gave... Oh, they gave
if you
him
don't have a hat or something, they provide it.
Yeah,
but everyone else looks like they brought their own hats because none of the hats look like the hat he is given. They all look like specialized different hats. Like, look at him. One's are big and fluffy. Some are skinny. Like, look at the mayor's hat. His one's massive.
Yeah, and Kenyan Santa doesn't even have a Santa beard. He's just got a... Oh, here's your part.
Oh, here it is.
Polish colour.
Oh my god. Hey, Jingle Balls. Move your candy canes. Look at him. Look at him. He is the most... Wait. Here it is. Jesus loves Santa. Bless you, Santa. That nun is really getting with it, and the priest looked at her like, "You're a whore." He did. You have to rewind it. Look back. Yeah. Oh yeah. Good thing for running. Stop, have cookies and milk. Yeah, that's gonna really help you run.
It's a Santa joke. Santa loves cookies and milk.
Yes, I get it. It's a joke for Santa. I could really do with a nice cold glass of milk right now. Thanks. I like how there's a dog. I like how there's a dog in the race.
I like how he comes back.
Yeah, and he's like, oh. What happens if the dog won? Does the owner of the dog get the money, or do they give it to the
dog gets it?
Or does the dog get it? He just like licks it and buries it.
She fell.
It fell. Oh, he's got a beard. He's got a beard.
So in preparation for this episode, I googled "I'll be home for Christmas" trivia. And there was an I'll be home for Christmas quiz.
Yeah?
And, like, I was gonna do it, but then the questions were all really difficult.
Such as?
One of them was, what number does Matthew Broderick have in this scene? And
124.
Well, 184, so you got it wrong even though it's in front of you. But I couldn't remember that. And one of them was, like, what's the phone number he dialed? Where is he in one scene? And they were all very difficult questions.
Wow! Look that up. I might put that on the page, actually. Yeah. Because I didn't realise that this is going to be a difficult movie for quizzes.
Well, they certainly picked the 10 hardest questions. I didn't answer any of them, but, like, I looked at them and I think I was only confident in, like, 1 or 2 answers.
And I bet one of them was, like, what kind of Porsche is it? Like, what kind is it? It's red. But, like, what's the year
I don't think Porsche? They asked about the car, no.
Then what's the point? That's what the movie's about. Oh.
Do you reckon Mayer took a dive?
Yeah, he did. He clearly did because he could have sprinted at the finish line, but the kid dropped his hat and he waited for him. So the Mayer took a dive for no reason.
He's like, oh, those kids didn't need it.
Yeah, he's like, this kid needs it. I think he could tell that this kid's in need. No, I really do, because this kid has no money. He's lost. You could tell he's lost by how he's acting. And when he does, spoiler alert, give the money. Ha 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 ha, Eddie. Ha 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 ha.
Then he's never seen again. He's charged for saying jingle balls and murder.
Yeah, and murder.
Or attempted
murder. And kidnapping, yeah. What I was saying was, he knows that this kid's in trouble because he offers him a table, like a seat at the dinner table for Christmas. Like, he's like, you could spend it with us. He's never met this kid before. But the mayor is such a good guy, he could read people. That's what I got. And I think that's a noble character right there. That's why I get annoyed when people don't know this movie, because it's full of noble characters. Real, genuine, heartfelt. Like, I think I know some of these people. Like, not actually, but like, these characters are so relatable. What about you?
In this bit right here where this clearly mobster-looking guy tells him that...
I thought he was going to rob him.
Yeah, he's wearing a... Yeah, but look, he's like, you beat Mayor Wilson in the race. And, like, I didn't realize... I thought he was talking about, like, the Kenyan Santa for some reason. Like, I realized that the most significant character in that last scene, apart from our main character, Broderick Screech, Matthew Zach, was, you know, this guy right here. But, I don't know, it just didn't strike me that he was the mayor. And it didn't strike him either, so...
Yeah, so you were fooled. Okay, so I've got a revelation. This is the time. Bartek, everyone, this film is a film until yesterday I had never seen in its entirety.
Oh, like Big Fat Liar.
Like Big Fat Liar. The exact same reasonings apply. I always saw this movie when he was in the desert. Never before. I never
okay.
got the context of why he was left there, other than having to piece it together from watching the film. So I never have seen this movie in its entirety until last night, when I had to watch it for this show. And boy, does the first 5 minutes give you a lot of build-up, and boy, is the payoff excellent.
So you never got to see that gymnastic chick that likes the chocolate?
Yeah, no, I never even got to see his school friend who was locked in the...
Yeah. You didn't have the false expectations that he was going to be a character throughout the whole movie.
Yep, did you think that?
Well, yeah, until like a certain way, like 3/4 through, I'm like, he had a best friend at one point.
And he's dead now.
Oh, that didn't occur to me until after the movie.
He's dead now. Like, he's dead in that thing, and nobody knows until next year, 1999. Yeah, so this is 1998. Here's the thing I was saying about this last night after... Oh, Tracy's the fucking best. What I was saying about this was, we watched a 90s movie last episode called Surf Ninjas, and here's the difference between those two. And I think it's because this is a Christmas movie. But I watched this, and I don't feel like this is a 90s movie. Like, I know it's a movie made in the 90s, but unlike Surf Ninjas, the 90s dirty fingerprints aren't smothered all over this film. Like, you're looking at this, and I could say to you, this was made in 2004, you wouldn't dispute it, necessarily. You know what I mean? Other than the use of phones like this, but in 2004, you still had public phones and still had this and that. So, I really do believe that, maybe because it's a Christmas film, or do you think the late 90s was the point in which the 90s identity look was starting to kind of wear off?
I'd say if I'd take a few years off 2004 and say, 2001, 2002. Not that I'm an expert in the early 2000s until now.
Yeah, but, I could also say it was made last year and you would believe me, because you're like, Matthew Broderick looks so young.
Yeah, he doesn't look like Simba at all anymore.
No, he doesn't.
What was that, 1997, Lion King?
I thought it was 1996.
Okay, 1 year off.
I can't remember. I think it was.
Yeah. This film has a lot of pale colours. Maybe that is an influence of it.
And no denim overalls with tie-dye shirts underneath, yeah.
Yeah.
And backwards caps.
Like, was it just me, or was Surf Ninjas for most of the Los Angeles scenes like tinted like orangey a bit? I don't know.
Yeah, but unlike...
Maybe I'm just... here's racist birthday coming up. Maybe I was just looking at their skin colours. I don't know. Apparently I'm racist. I didn't realise this until now.
You should listen to the podcasts back and hear your racist moments and
Okay.
add them up in each podcast, because
Like-
it's like every single one except for the first episode, and I'm pretty sure you did, because you're like, yeah, Kastang, that's Chinese for yes. And I'm just like,
Yeah, well, that was just me bullshitting.
you're what? I thought you knew Chinese.
No, but I was in a car yesterday with a guy who was speaking Chinese on the phone.
Do you think this dog is Ringo Starr?
That depends. Is he the guy that runs RingoStarr.com?
Yeah.
Have you seen that?
No?
Oh, you got to see that.
What is it?
It's Ringo Starr selling really expensive drawings he made on Microsoft Paint.
Is it actually Ringo Starr himself, though?
Yes.
It is actually Ringo?
Yes, the drawings look very amateurish and they're sold for a lot of money.
I've got to look.
I think it's called RingoStarr.com.
I love... You remember that Ringo was Marge's favourite Beatle in The Simpsons?
But we call them chips.
Yeah, we like to call them chips. Oh, Gary. He's looking so upset. Gary Cole, man.
At least he's in New York now.
Yeah, he's in New York. And he's going to fair evade. Or has he already done that? No, here he is. He's fair evading. I love this. It's like... Have you got a ticket, Santa? It's like...
Dude, if this was
Nope.
Melbourne...
You would get fined on the spot. Not just kicked off. You would get fined so hard. And they would also just like beat your teeth in and call you a cunt.
When I was in year 11, I was in a religion class, and one of the guys there, he was talking about how once, when a ticket inspector got on the train, he like made a really big effort to make himself known, and then he like slowly started going up the train, but really obviously, suspiciously, and then when the ticket inspector finally got up to him, he was like, "Can I see your ticket, please?" And he just showed him the ticket.
Why?
I don't know, to troll him or something, I don't know.
Trolling your train cops?
Speaking of troll, I showed a bunch of people at a party the other day Troll 2.
The full movie? Or
Yeah.
Was it good?
Well, of course, it's Troll 2.
We'll never do that on our show, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, it's cult
too
classic.
appreciated. It's cult classic. Unlike this movie, which needs to be a cult classic.
Yeah, that's the goal of this show, to make cult classics.
Yeah, I mean, this movie, cult classic. This kid...
Well, we want it to be.
This kid. He was like, "Hey, Santa,
Close.
I loved you in Godzilla. Bye."
I can't wait till Inspector Gadget comes out.
Yeah, it's gonna be good. I
Yes.
can't wait to see you grab an Indian man's bowls with your robotic hand and Inspector Gadget. That actually happened, Bartek.
Hakuna Matata.
Hakuna Matata, Lion King referencing. Woo! Yeah, he would have broken legs.
Oof, oof, ow, oh,
He would have a broken wrist, legs, face. Oh wait, no, he's already got a broken face. But I love how this is like a festival for general holidays because you see like dreidels in there. Did you notice that?
Dreidel. No, I didn't.
Well,
I just saw a Christmas tree and a present, and
these women are dressed like all Kwanzaa and shit.
they
And
look like Bonnie M.
see, there's a dreidel right there. See that?
Oh, you're right. It is a dreidel.
There's a bunch of dreidels, and there's a bunch of women in Kwanzaa outfits, and this woman's like,
There
"Do
are
not unwrap."
There are Kwanzaa outfits?
Yeah, like the.
I thought that was just like a harvest thing.
There's like traditional African outfits.
Wait a second. She said she wouldn't take me back if I showed up in a one-horse open sleigh. But what if I do that?
Yeah, did you expect foreshadowing to happen in this film for that?
No.
Like, did you? Yeah.
And it wasn't until afterwards when I was reading about it that
You're like, oh my god.
I was like, oh, that was foreshadowing. I thought that, because usually when someone's like, I wouldn't, if you were the last man on earth and you did this, like, usually people don't follow up on it and be like, yeah, here it is now.
But this movie does. It breaks the mold.
So these people are singing Silent Night?
And they're making it not silent with their incessant singing.
Yeah, shut up, guys.
Shut your moles.
That's the most ironic thing in the movie.
Irony is what this movie is all about. Do you find the main, like, okay, so, you know, there's, like, kind of, like, several storylines going on. You know, like, he's trying to get back home, the sister is trying to get him home, like, everyone's trying to get this guy home except for Eddie, who's trying to get him away from home. Do you think that Eddie's the real hero of the story?
Well, he doesn't appear again, so it's
So-
kind of hard to justify that at
Yeah,
this point.
so yeah.
So do you reckon he's like the behind the scenes kind of hero? Do you reckon like if we like looked at like zoomed in on pixels, we might see his face like the bricks or something?
Yeah, he's like a ghost. Hey, fun
The
fact.
ghost of Christmas
Fun
Eve.
fact: the guy who plays Eddie was in Seventh Heaven with her, Jessica Biel, and they dated in the show. I think they may have dated in real life.
I read those two things as well. Yeah.
And another fun little fact: Eddie played a character in a short film shortly after this called Eddie. So I want to know if he's the same character.
It was that with him dealing with prison life after killing
I don't
Ian?
know. It didn't have a real good description on what the short film was about.
Okay.
But I imagine if they had to make a spin-off short film about Eddie,
Yeah.
it's about like Shawshank Eddie, and it's like Morgan. No.
Shawshank Redemption.
And Paul Giamatti's like Morgan Freeman, and he's just like, if I could do my Paul Giamatti impersonation for everyone, and he's like, and Eddie crawled through shit.
That was your Morgan Freeman impression.
No, that was my Paul Giamatti.
No, it actually sounded like, what's that guy that does Iago from Aladdin?
Gilbert Gottfried.
Yeah.
And then he hit my clitoris. Yeah. No, it's like Paul Giamatti. He's got a weird voice to impersonate, but he would just be like, yes, and then Eddie crawled through miles worth of shit. And did I mention that I'm the wolf? Buy Big Fat Liar on DVD today.
Except that it's not being sold anyway.
Yeah, except for they've run out of copies. I went to JB Hi-Fi the other day to find this on DVD. Couldn't find it. Very disappointed. But in the Christmas section, do you ever see this? In sections, say like queer section, action section, kids section, you find a movie or something in there that doesn't belong in there, and you just have a little giggle to yourself.
Yeah, what'd you find?
I found in the movies of Christmas, I found the entire series of Leno and Woodley.
With what?
Leno and Woodley. The two Australian comedians, The Adventures of Leno and Woodley.
Okay.
And they have a Christmas... No, they don't even have a Christmas episode. They have an Easter episode. But it was just like, why is this in there? And it's just... It still haunts me now that it was in there.
So we were talking earlier about, Jessica Biel's relationships. The person that she ended up marrying sort of appears at the end of this film.
Who?
She married Justin Timberlake.
Oh, yeah. She married Justin Timberlake, and then they have NSYNC playing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, they do.
So this movie's all about Jessica Biel's relationships with everyone.
Spoiler alert, in one of the reviews that I did not choose, one of the comments were, this is a good movie. It has NSYNC and the soundtrack. But I didn't choose it because it wasn't good enough in comparison to the others that I have chosen.
NSYNC was that one band that I was like, oh, they were on The Simpsons once. And that's all I knew about them.
Yes.
And then I was like, oh, Justin Timberlake was in
I
it.
remember Justin Timberlake from Simpsons too, but I remembered him from, what was one of his first good movies? Like, he was...
I don't know, Social Network, that was 3 years ago.
I remember he did Sexy Back, the song.
Yeah.
And that was when, I remember hearing it after John Howard got kicked out of office as Prime Minister, because I was like, could you imagine if the Liberals made a song called Bringing Liberals Back? Oh, I'm bringing conservatism back.
Yeah.
And that's what happened. Welcome to the world we live in, a dark stone cold age in which Bartek and I have to be the noble knights and crawl through the ruins of civilization and find unappreciated masterpieces and shine our torchlights onto them, and so that you, the listening people, can be aware of their existence and grab them and raise them onto a platform worthy of their status.
Every Saturday or Sunday.
Well, we record it every Saturday or Sunday. When it comes out, it's a bit of a mix.
Yeah, usually it's a day after. Sometimes it's 3. I don't know.
This time, last podcast came out a couple of days after because, spoiler alert, for some reason my laptop refused to upload it, so I had to do it on another at work. We're missing the poignancy of her jump sweater sizes. Do you remember, Bartek?
Yeah, it's a callback to something we didn't mention.
Yeah, but do you remember her sweater size? It's 8.
That was one of the questions on the trivia.
Well, I would have got that. Would you? Because I remember they're like 8.
That's
8.
one of the few that I would have got that I did get. And they asked for numbers only, so you just press the 8 key. That was the only not multiple choice one.
Wow.
Oh, here's the scene we talked about earlier.
Where they're going to punch him?
Yeah, where...
They're like, oh my god, there he is. I love how he's like, nice wings. He's like, yeah, thanks, I took a sewing class. Mm-hmm. Like, I like how they don't actually want to hurt him because they believe on peace on earth. Like, they actually still believe in what they're preaching, which this film has been showing to the contrary. But, it's good. It is a marvelous little film. I think... What do you think, Bartek, of him learning his lesson at the end? He learns that he doesn't need the Porsche. He doesn't need this materialism. He only
needs the Porsche in a few years.
In like 40 years. Did you know that? He said, like, it may take us a few Christmases. And the dad's like, yeah, 30 or 40. It's like, you're going to be dead by then, Gary Cole.
Yeah, and and Zach Screech would be 50. Broderick Matthews.
Yeah. You got it in one, Bartek. And is this the end?
Well, there's still the credits and sync.
Yep, this is the end.
And who's coming back? Who's coming back?
Eddie?
What's that?
Wouldn't it be weird if the hat, like a hand crawled out of it and pulled itself up, and it was Eddie all along, and he's like, "That's all, folks.
There's the ball.
There's the ball."
And NSYNC.
Yeah, and NSYNC's
back. Streets back.
All right. So that was "I'll Be Home for Christmas," starring Matthew Broderick, Eddie. We didn't give any... Paul Giamatti, I think we mentioned, was in there. Or
here's the actors. Jonathan Taylor Thomas played Jake, but no,
we know
it's Matthew Broderick.
We know it's Matthew Broderick. We got the nun.
Tracy was Lauren Maltby.
Oh, good one, Lauren.
Tom girl Mary was... too late.
All right. Well, Bartek.
You're right. Brantman, Murphman, Kenman.
Told you.
They don't come back.
That was a wonderful...
Oh, nose strip. It was a nose strip.
Yeah, I don't know what that was a fashion craze about. Yeah, again, I wasn't in that crowd during the 90s. I was still learning how to speak in proper sentences. Bartek, give us your thoughts, your review, and what you rate this.
You know what? I mentioned this earlier. I saw Star Wars yesterday, and was good. Black guy was good. White people were good. Because, you know, most of them were white.
Good one. Racism's
I guess
back.
Chewbacca's brown.
Racism's back. Alright.
Look, alright. So Chewbacca had a line that summarized this film. It was you know, it was the sound he makes. So.
You're not going to do it, are you? Do it. I thought that was going to be a perfect... I thought you were going to do a perfect lead into your Orson Welles impersonation. Bartek's Orson Welles impersonation is rubbish.
I only did it twice.
Yeah, more than once. Your Orson Welles is like, I'm Orson Welles.
No, my Orson Welles is not Bane. My Orson Welles is stating that he wish he made movies.
So, is that all you have to say?
Chewbacca had a line, it was...
And that sums up this film.
I think so, because when I started watching this movie, it did feel like I was watching a movie made by Disney.
That's the perfect...
Except it didn't. I was just kidding because I'm trying to work out how to phrase my thoughts. I thought this movie was very refreshing. I made a comment similar in the very first episode when we watched Big Fat Liar. How the main character, you don't really see that kind of main character anymore. Like the sense of humor's different. You know, they might have awkward bits. Even Star Wars had some awkward modern day humor in it. Like except like, and that made Han Solo all the more better because he was still as suave as ever.
Yeah.
But yeah, refreshing. You got this like cocky main character, you know, likes to swindle people, likes to say, like, charming, even though we know he's kind of a dick. But
you like Dick?
Yeah,
Bartek,
really
so
fun to watch. Big dick. And when big dick goes big dick. I'm sorry, I'm projecting myself now.
Yeah, you're thinking about Eddie's big fucking cock right now.
Hey.
That should have been on the end of the credits here.
That should have been how the movie ended.
Yeah, on his throbbing hard erection.
Like, yeah, big,
so what are you gonna
mistake.
rate? What are you gonna rate this?
25 points, because that's how many centimeters that dick would have been.
Brilliant.
It's about 10 inches.
This film is a roller coaster. Yeah, I have sentimental attachment to this. Like I said, I always saw it on TV. It's a TV running movie. It's not a TV movie, but it is a movie that was on TV a lot. And it's one that I never saw the start of. But it was one that I always held close in my heart. It's a film that I always forgot the name of. I always remembered it as the one where, you know, he gets glued inside a Santa suit. And I remember the characters, but I couldn't remember the name. You know those movies where you see it on TV and you see it every year, at least once or twice a year, but you never remember its name, but you have fond memories of it, and then you describe it to somebody else and like, oh yeah, that movie. And this is what this movie is, and I find that's a special thing for me. I feel a real attachment to this film because it is one of those movies. This movie is an emotional movie. It investigates the ideas of commercialism. It investigates the ideas of family, and it has a deep analysis of Christmas. The fact that Christmas can mean so many things. At the start, I made a slightly snide comment that Christmas is a genre, and that holidays can be a genre, but I find it is a good thing to have it as a genre because this time of year, the Christmas time of year, is where humanity, especially obviously for Christians, but overall, let's be honest, humanity is supposed to be kinder than it actually is. This is the time of year where we're supposed to treat each other with respect. It is instilled upon us, and this film investigates that idea. I give this film a ho 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 out of ho 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 ho's.
That's great. Yeah, you're right about that. Christmas has that identity of the themes and all that. Because you think of the other common ones, like Halloween. What themes are there except, like, be kooky? You know, just watch Addams Family. There you go. And Easter, I don't even know if there is an Easter one.
That's right.
Easter genre.
Easter sucks. No, okay.
Oh, except with, like, Jesus movies, like Jesus Christ Superstar.
Okay, now it is time for reviews from IMDb. Other people had other comments to say. Now, I have chosen a mixture of good and negative comments because I am endeavouring to get both opinions on the matter. Because maybe not everyone can see the masterful creation of film in the way that we can. But we have to learn from the other side because films are are subjective. All art is subjective, and if we can understand the negative sides, it can enrich our experience of the movies. And then the same applies for the positive side. This is a title called A Really Cute Film That Anybody Can Enjoy.
Oh.
I love this movie, and I'm not ashamed of it. I watched it countless times as a teenager, and it was one of my favorites. I may have fond memories of it. No, I have many fond memories of it. When I was a teenager, I had the biggest crush on Jessica Biel. I used to envy Jonathan Taylor Thomas in this movie. Now that I'm older, I don't feel the same way. This is the first time I've seen the movie since 2003. That's a long time to go without viewing a movie, even after seeing it many times. A couple of nights ago, I decided to put this on. I was curious to see how it would hold up. Now that I'm older, see how it would hold up now that I'm older. It may not be Christmas time for me, but I was in the mood for something fluffy that would make me smile a lot. I can gladly say this movie still manages to do the job. This is a movie that anybody can enjoy at any age. It has plenty of laughs as well. Allie's "I'll have to slug you" line cracks me up every time. I also howl at the restaurant scene where Jake tries to get a couple back together. We even get some subtle sexual jokes about Santa. And they put this in quotations. Someone else is going down Santa's chimney? It may be family entertainment, but it's not afraid to throw some jabs and take a risk. Jonathan Taylor Thomas is fun as the lead. He makes a great weasel, and I never fail to smile at his antics. He definitely had plenty of charisma for his age. Jessica Biel is beautiful, talented as well. I highly doubt you'll see her talking about this movie, but she was solid as the love interest. And Adam, if I screw up this guy's name, let's just move on, okay? Adam Lavogna plays a good slimeball. Gary Cole is a tad wasted as the dad, but he was good too. This is excellent family entertainment. I don't care what anyone says. This is a good movie that has a really good message behind it. What do you expect? An Oscar winner? You can watch this film at any time of the year. Don't be warded off by the low rating. 9 out of 10 stars. And that was written in 2014.
Wow, that was last year. Almost 2 years ago.
Now, this next one was written on the 8th of December 2015.
Whoa,
This
whoa.
is
Hold on, I still got to register the 8th of this. That was like, what, 12 days ago?
Yeah. This is what they had to say. A fun Christmas film. My expectations were low when I started to watch this film. The premise seemed okay. And watching Home Improvement, I knew the lead actor had some charm about him. I can happily say that I didn't need to worry because this film is good family entertainment that also manages to be a good Christmas movie. Sure, it's far-fetched and the plot doesn't hold up too much, but it's also full of funny moments and has his heart in the right place. It's a shame that Jonathan Taylor Thomas didn't go on to make more films after this one because he was likable and had good comic timing. This is one of those films that you can see that you should have on your shelf every Christmas. Why not give it a go? 10 out of 10. Now, these ones are the piece de la resistance, in my opinion. Now we're going to hit the home stretch, okay? Those were like light, fluffy ones. But these ones get down and deep to the positive and negatives. This is a 10 out of 10 review. Ooh. And it's called The Best JTT Movie. This was written 17th of December, 1998. This is when the movie came out.
Wow.
I really love JTT's new movie. It had romance, it was funny, and JTT was convincing as Jake. This role was a departure from his previous roles. I'm so happy that he is growing up and trying less clean roles. Jessica was great since she reminded me of her Seventh Heaven role. Mary. She was strong and did not take junk from anyone. I was surprised to see the two kiss, since I did not know they would. This was the best JTT movie. I cannot wait till Speedway Junkie. JTT is a talented young man and needs to be heard. 10 out of 10.
Wow, that person likes Jonathan Taylor Thomas.
Yep. Yes, they do.
Even though you preface it with 1998, I still laugh when he said his new movie.
Yeah.
It's funny to think that these movies used to be new.
Yeah, they used to be new. Next one, December 1st, 1998.
Wow.
I think this movie is good and funny. I enjoyed it a lot. Saw it twice. That's the name of the title. 10 out of 10 stars. Contrary to what others may have to say, this movie is funny. Acting is good. It had a lesson in it. If you'd like to relax and if you want to have a good Christmas, and if you want good Christmas spirit in you, you would definitely enjoy this one. I certainly did. Jessica is great. And Jonathan is funny. 10 out of 10. I had to read these 1998 ones because there's 3 of them. This is another 1998 one. As it's called A Truly Great Film. 10 out of 10. As for JTT's latest movie, I would have to say...
Was he just called JTT in the 90s?
Yeah. I would have to say that this is just way better than I expected. I went to the theater by myself just to check this out. Just to check this young, accomplished actor's latest movie. I expected a bomb, but boy was I in for a surprise. The whole thing engulfed me in emotions. I was utterly amazed at how much I was either laughing or in tears. It was truly a great movie and was worth the money and time. The plot was a bit of a stretch, and understanding these college boys could do that to Jake in the desert was a bit hard to believe, but you can really appreciate the fine acting jobs by all involved. This will be a holiday treasure in my video library once available. Wow, 10 out of 10.
Man, JTT was the shit in the 90s.
Now we're going to get to the negatives.
No, there can't be that many.
This one was made in 2007. This one is called Not So Funny in light of recent CSI episodes.
What?
And all of the crimes that go unpunished. I was willing to suspend my disbelief until he opens the napkin containing evidence of who kidnapped him and dropped him out in the desert to die. He then wads it up and throws it away. In brackets, they put this in brackets. Littering in the wilderness, concealing evidence of a crime, end brackets. Instead of putting it in his pocket so the authorities will be able to find his kidnappers / attempted killers if he dies. The recent Dead Doll episode 801 of CSI shows that Eddie and the boys' kind of behavior is anything but happy, joy, and worthy of a life sentence behind bars. When he spots Eddie with his girlfriend, Eddie's reaction is also unbelievable. He would be remorseful by then, glad to see TT is still alive, and happy to give him a ride home. As with most Disney movies that try to be comedies, this one is seriously not funny at all, and all of the crimes committed by the various idiots in this farce go unpunished without charges. 2 stars.
Wow, there's a lot wrong with that one.
Now,
First of all, he couldn't call the police because then he wouldn't get the Porsche.
Now, this one's my favourite. Bartek?
Yeah? Okay, I'm sitting up.
Okay, Bartek, you would appreciate this. Okay, gotta get ready.
Okay.
This one is called Some Funny Moment in This Movie.
Just one. Okay.
Okay. Written in 2011. Okay. Oh, Jesus, I'm getting ready for this. Okay. There no Tim Allen.
I'm sorry, what was the first couple of words?
Okay. Oh, Jesus Christ. There no Tim Allen in this movie, but not far from it. This oh Jesus Christ. This broken English is great.
Oh, it's broken English.
Yes, no. I'm not screwing this up. There no Tim Allen in this movie, but not far from it. This time Randy from Home Improvement Jesus Christ. Okay. This time Randy from Home Improvement show, but this time Wait, this
I don't even know what that means.
No one does.
I've never seen Home Improvement.
The kids from Home Improvement. This time, Tim Allen's the lead in Home Improvement. This time, Randy from Home Improvement show, but this time playing Jake. Oh Jesus Christ! This goes on. The dad as Tell's son If the dad as Jesus Christ, the dad as tells son, if come home before
I had my fist in my mouth and I still can't stop laughing.
if come home before 6 p.m. on Christmas, he will get the Porsche.
Yeah.
Jesus, it gets better. Okay, the dad has tells son, if come home before 6 p.m. on Christmas, he will get the Porsche. But it's not that simple. Okay, but it's not that simple as think always to get in a way when the bullies.
Are you like halfway through or what?
I'm literally halfway through.
Okay.
Okay, the bullies. Okay, when bullies kidnapped him and. Jesus.
What's the next word gonna be? It's gonna be great.
When bullies kidnapped him and glue Santa's suit to his body and leave in the desert. There are funny moments in this movie, and on the way, he helps some people like the way.
Like what?
like the way. Let's repeat that. There are funny moments. There are funny moment in this movie, and on the way, he helps some people like the way, which was nice touch to the movie. Then this is the best bit. Then half hour into the movie, it gets a predictable and really cheesy and a really cheesy ending. Worth watching Xmas movie. So that was a really broken English movie. I'm sorry if you could barely understand it because it was just so funny for us to read right now.
I'm weak to broken English.
And what I love is it's all broken English. So like they're no Tim Allen in this movie, but not far from it. This time Randy from Home Improvement Show, but this time playing Jake. The dad has tells son if come home before 6 p.m. on Christmas, he will get the Porsche. But you read it with a rhythm. But what I love is okay, it gets all broken English, and then the second last line is in normal English, which is then half an hour into this movie, it gets a predictable and really cheesy ending. And then it goes back to broken English with worth watching Xmas movie. Now Bartek, everyone at home, would you like to guess what country this person is from?
Can we hear their username?
No.
Okay. Seeing it's not Poland, is it?
No.
Okay, good. It can be anything then.
Have a guess. Take a guess. You'll be wrong, but have a guess.
Oh, okay. I'll think. Country Zimbabwe.
The United Kingdom. They are English. And they wrote such great lines as, this time Randy from Home Improvement Show, but this time playing Jake.
And for all of you out there who are thinking that, oh, United Kingdom has Welsh people and Irish people and Scottish people, you're wrong.
They can still speak English though.
Ryan just said that they're English.
They can still speak English. Okay, this is the last one. I know we had a lot of reviews this week, but I just felt like we had to preface this. This one sums it up. This isn't Jingle All the Way, but it'll do. 10 out of 10 stars. Don't get me wrong, this is a great movie, but it's not one you can watch over and over and over again. This movie isn't a Jingle All the Way, and then they put a smiley face there.
That's nice.
But if you're in the mood for a Christmas movie, watch it. You'll like it. There are some funny parts, not too many serious parts, if any, but there are some funny things in it. 10 out of 10. Written in 2000. Wow. And that was all the reviews. My favourite was Broken English Guy.
It's always going to be Broken English Guy.
So, Bartek, any final thoughts you have about this wonderful movie?
Like the Broken English Guy said, it's a real shame that it was only 30 minutes long.
Yeah. And little did you know that we were just talking for like an hour or 2 hours over like a half-hour film. Yeah.
Yeah.
So is that it?
Yeah, it should have been, an hour, 26 minutes and 12 seconds, but
it was only half an hour.
But it was only half an hour, yeah.
Well, I have to say that I am so glad that we had this as our first Christmas movie. I feel like it really sets upon the ideas of what we have for this show. That this is an unappreciated masterpiece, but not an unknown film. This is from a well-known distributor with well-known actors, played frequently every Christmas, but during that time of day that you may not catch it. And I am glad that we can find this piece and bring it to you. Anything else, Bartek?
We wish you a Merry Christmas.
We wish you a Merry Christmas.
We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Like our Facebook page.
And make some comments.
And subscribe to iTunes.
And share some stuff that's posted there.
Yeah. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Seriously, like the page.
Yeah, seriously, dudes. We are very, very needing of that. But you have been wonderful, great listening people. Bartek, as always, it's been a pleasure.
It's been a pleasure to Ryan Sliwinski.
Yes, we have been Spit and Polish Presents, and you have been great listening people.
Yes.